The roar of the crowd echoed across the fairways of Pine Valley as a 15-year-old Charlie Woods stood tall on the 18th green. The sunlight hit his face just as he lined up his final putt. Calm, focused, and fearless. The gallery held its breath. With a smooth stroke that mirrored the grace of his father, the ball rolled and dropped dead center. For a moment, time froze. Then came the eruption. Cheers, cameras, and celebrations surrounded the young prodigy, Charlie Woods, son of the most iconic golfer of the modern era, Tiger Woods. This wasn't just another junior tournament win. It was a statement. The moment the world realized Charlie wasn't just Tiger's son, he was a champion in the making. Overnight, headlines exploded. The next Woods has arrived. Like father, like son, Charlie's dominant victory stuns the golf world. Clips of his victory swing went viral, racking up millions of views in hours. Fans flooded social media calling him the second coming of Tiger. Sponsors took notice. Tournament organizers sent invitations. The spotlight had officially turned on, but not everyone was celebrating without caution. Among those watching closely from afar was a man who knew the highs and the crushing lows of golf greatness better than anyone. Jack Nicklaus, the Golden Bear himself. While the sports world buzzed with excitement, Nicklaus remained quiet. He didn't rush to praise or criticize. He just watched, with the same thoughtful calm that defined his career. Because behind that legendary smile, Jack saw something most people missed. He saw history repeating itself. The shadow of greatness for decades. Fans had compared Tiger Woods to Jack Nicklaus. Their records, their majors, their mental toughness. But now, another generation was stepping into that same storm. And Nicklaus knew the danger better than anyone. When the cameras zoom in too early, when the media turns a teenager into a global name, the pressure becomes its own opponent. He had seen it before. His own son, Gary Nicklaus, was once hailed as the next Golden Bear. At just 16, Gary was splashed across magazine covers, his every move analyzed. And despite his talent, the burden of expectation slowly broke him down. That memory never left Jack. So when he watched Charlie's triumph, he didn't just see victory, he saw a warning sign, a call from the past a few days after Charlie's win. During an interview at the Memorial Tournament, a journalist asked Nicklaus about the young Woods' performance. Cameras rolled, expecting polite admiration. Instead, what came out left the entire golf world stunned. Jack paused, looked directly at the reporter, and said quietly, "Talent can make you win early, but pressure can end you even earlier." The room went silent. He continued, "Charlie's swing is beautiful. His rhythm is pure. He has everything you'd want in a young player. But if he's not careful, if the people around him don't protect him, he could burn out before he even begins." Reporters rushed to publish the quote. Within minutes, headlines flooded the internet. Jack Nicklaus issues final warning to Charlie Woods. Nicklaus sounds alarm over Tiger's son's future. Fans didn't know what to make of it. Was Nicklaus being critical? Was he predicting failure? Or was this the wisdom of a legend trying to save a young star from the same traps he'd seen before? Whatever the intent, the message was clear. The Golden Bear had spoken, and the world was listening. The meaning behind the words to understand Nicklaus's warning, one had to look deeper. Golf isn't just about fairways and greens. It's about endurance, mental toughness. A quiet war fought inside the mind, and for Charlie, that war was about to begin. While his victory looked effortless, the expectations that came with it were crushing. Every swing, every step, every emotion would now be compared to his father's legendary career. For most young players, a bad round means a quiet drive home. For Charlie Woods, it could mean global headlines, viral tweets, and endless scrutiny. Nicklaus knew this kind of attention could destroy confidence faster than a missed putt. He warned again in another interview, this time on national television. The hardest part of success is not winning, it's surviving what comes after. Those words hit like thunder. Fans began to wonder, was Jack hinting at something more? Did he know about pressures Charlie was already facing behind the scenes? Rumors started swirling online. Some claimed Nicklaus had spoken privately with Tiger. Others said he'd reached out through mutual contacts to offer personal advice. Tiger, ever private, stayed silent. But sources close to the Woods family suggested that the message was received, loud and clear. A whisper in the wind later that week, a short video clip surfaced online. It showed Jack Nicklaus at a charity event, speaking off-camera to a small group of reporters. The audio was faint, but one line stood out clearly. If Charlie isn't protected now, he'll face the same demons we all did, only multiplied by 1,000,000. The internet exploded. Reddit threads, Twitter debates, YouTube breakdowns. Everyone had an opinion. Was Jack talking about mental health, media pressure, family expectations, or something deeper? Something only golf's inner circle understood. One journalist wrote, "Nicklaus doesn't give warnings lightly. If he's speaking out, it means he's seen something coming that others haven't." And just like that, a new storyline was born. Charlie Woods' win wasn't just a triumph. It was the beginning of a test. Within hours of Jack Nicklaus's calm interview, the quote had leapt across every sports feed on the internet. Clips of his words, "Pressure can end you even earlier," were replayed in slow motion, captioned in bold letters, and shared by millions. Sports talk shows dissected every syllable. Panelists argued, is Nicklaus protecting Charlie or predicting his collapse? Memes, analysis videos, even podcasts named The Warning popped up overnight. But beneath the noise, a quieter truth was forming. Jack's message wasn't meant to criticize. It was a call to protect. The media stormed by the next morning. Journalists crowded outside Tiger Woods' private training facility in Jupiter, Florida. Cameras flashed each time the gates opened, hoping for a glimpse of the father-son duo. Tiger remained silent, his team issuing only a short statement. Charlie is focused on practice. "We appreciate Mr. Nicklaus's kindness and concern, yet that one line only fueled curiosity. Every major outlet spun its own headline. Tension between legends, Nicklaus and Woods, a battle of generations. Can Charlie handle the pressure?" Inside the golf world, however, the tone was different. Coaches, analysts, and former pros quietly agreed that Nicklaus was right. They'd all seen prodigies rise fast and fade faster under the relentless weight of expectation. Behind closed doors, away from the cameras, Tiger and Charlie were practicing at dusk. The course was empty, the Florida air thick with humidity. Charlie lined up a 9-iron, swung cleanly, and watched the ball land within a few feet of the pin. Tiger nodded but said nothing. Finally, after another shot, he spoke softly. "You hear what Jack said?" Charlie shrugged. "Everyone's talking about it." "He's not wrong," Tiger replied. "This game doesn't just test your swing. It tests who you are when nobody's watching." There was no lecture, no anger, just honesty. For the first time, Charlie saw the same pressure that once followed his father now circling him. The Golden Bear clarifies a week later. Nicklaus appeared on a televised charity event. Reporters couldn't resist asking about his comments again. Jack smiled gently. "People think I was criticizing the boy. I wasn't. I was reminding everyone, including myself, how fragile success can be." He paused, then added, "Charlie's swing is pure. His future's bright. But he's young. Let him be young." That final sentence became the headline the next morning. "Let him be young. Nicklaus urges golf world to protect Charlie Woods." The shift was immediate. What had started as controversy was now being reframed as wisdom. The World Response fans began posting messages of support for Charlie. "Play for yourself, not the spotlight." "Legends protect legends." Clips of Tiger guiding Charlie on the range resurfaced, showing their bond, the laughter, the calm focus, the rare moments of father and son simply enjoying the game. Documentaries began drafting new narratives. The future of golf, Charlie Woods and the weight of legacy. What was once a warning had turned into inspiration. Still, in private conversations, Nicklaus remained concerned. He knew the media storm would calm only until Charlie's next tournament. Then the cycle would begin again, and each time, the stakes would rise. A lesson. Echoes in one interview weeks later, Nicklaus reflected, "I learned long ago that the game rewards patience, not attention. Charlie's got the patience. The rest of us need to give him the space." Those words resonated beyond golf. Parents of young athletes quoted them, coaches framed them on clubhouse walls, and even Tiger shared the line during a youth training event. The story that began as a warning had evolved into a movement. The focus shifted from the pressure of fame to the value of growth, mentorship, and family balance. Summer came quickly, and with it, the invitation every young golfer dreamed of, the National Junior Championship in San Diego. Charlie Woods' name appeared at the top of the entry list, and suddenly the calm that had followed Jack Nicklaus's interview began to crack. TV crews set up days before the event. Drones hovered above the driving range. Commentators rehearsed lines about the heir to Tiger's throne. Every practice swing was recorded. Every smile slowed down for dramatic effect. For most 15-year-olds, it would have been overwhelming. Charlie, however, walked onto the range with headphones on, humming softly, blocking out the noise. He wasn't chasing headlines. He was chasing fairways. The return of the cameras. The first round began under perfect blue skies. Charlie's opening drive sailed 290 yards down the middle. The crowd gasped. Within minutes, clips of the shot flooded TikTok and Instagram under hashtags like NextTiger and Golden Bear Warning. Broadcasters replayed Nicklaus's cautionary words over slow-motion footage of the swing. If he's not protected now, he'll face the same demons we all did. The juxtaposition made it irresistible television. Genius and danger in one frame. Commentary chaos in the broadcast booth. Analysts debated endlessly. He looks unshaken by the pressure. That's what worries me. Kids hide nerves better than we think. Even when Charlie birdied 3 of the next 5 holes, the conversation never left the topic of pressure. The victory story had become a psychological thriller, and the world couldn't look away. Tiger's strategy Tiger arrived quietly on the morning of day 2. No entourage, no interviews, just a cap pulled low and a notepad in hand. He watched his son finish a bogey-free round, then waited by the scoring tent. When reporters tried to approach, Tiger stopped them with a calm gesture. "Today's about golf," he said simply. Those 4 words became a viral soundbite within hours. To many, it felt like the first public stand against the media storm, a father drawing a boundary around his son. Behind the scenes, Tiger had been taking cues from Nicklaus's earlier advice. He limited Charlie's social media use, encouraged quiet downtime, and emphasized rest over reputation. He knew that sustaining greatness required silence as much as skill. Nicklaus speaks again. Mid-tournament, Jack Nicklaus appeared via video call on a sports network special. Smiling warmly, he said, "I'm proud of how they're handling this. The boy's learning to play golf for himself, not for the cameras. That's the only way you survive in this game." His calm tone diffused what had been weeks of noise. Viewers saw not rivalry, but mentorship. One legend guiding another from afar. Still, the headline writers couldn't resist. Nicklaus breaks silence as Charlie Woods shines under pressure. The turning point on the final day, Charlie faced a 12-foot putt to tie for the lead. The air was still. He set his feet, drew the putter back, and rolled the ball perfectly. Dead center. The crowd erupted. Tiger smiled for the first time all week, but what stood out most wasn't the celebration. It was what happened next. Charlie turned, nodded politely to the gallery, and walked off without a fist pump, without a shout, just composure. Later that evening, a reporter asked him how he stayed so calm. He replied quietly, "Because it's just golf. Dad says the noise only matters if you listen." That single line spread faster than any highlight. Even Jack Nicklaus mentioned it in a later interview, calling it the best answer I've heard from a young player in years. A shift in narrative by the end of the tournament. Charlie finished second. Not a win, but a victory of maturity. For the first time, commentators focused less on legacy and more on growth. Nicklaus's warning had transformed from headline drama into a guiding principle for youth sports. Clips of the handshake between Tiger and Charlie circulated with captions like, "Lessons passed, not pressures shared." The golf world, once hungry for comparison, now began celebrating evolution. Months passed after the San Diego Championship. The golf season slowed down, but the echoes of Charlie Woods' performance still rippled across the sports world. Every sports outlet had moved from questions of pressure to discussions of potential. And then, an announcement hit the media that reignited global attention. Tiger Woods, Charlie Woods, and Jack Nicklaus to appear together at the Legends and Legacy Charity Invitational. Golf fans everywhere knew. This wasn't just an event, it was a moment in history. The gathering at Pebble Beach. The venue chosen was Pebble Beach, the same course where Nicklaus had once sealed one of his greatest victories. The air was cool, the ocean mist rolled in from the cliffs, and the fairway shimmered under the late afternoon sun. Dozens of cameras surrounded the 18th green. But this time, the tone was different. There was no tension, no media frenzy, just quiet respect. Tiger Woods arrived with Charlie, both wearing matching black polos. Jack Nicklaus was already there, waiting near the tee, smiling as he saw them approach. A meeting of generations. When the two legends met, the crowd stood in silence. Tiger extended his hand, and Nicklaus gripped it firmly. "Good to see you again, Jack," Tiger said. "Always an honor," Nicklaus replied, nodding toward Charlie. "And this young man, I hear he's keeping us both in the news." Laughter broke the tension. Even Charlie smiled shyly. They played a friendly 3-hole exhibition. Nothing serious, no scorecards, just conversation and laughter echoing through the fairways. At one point, Tiger handed Charlie a wedge and said, "All right, show Jack what you've got." Charlie took a deep breath and hit a soft, floating chip that landed inches from the hole. Nicholas clapped slowly, impressed. "Beautiful touch," he said. "That's not taught. That's felt." The cameras caught every moment, but for once the focus wasn't on performance. It was on connection. The speech that stunned everyone. As the sun dipped low, a small ceremony began near the clubhouse patio. Nicholas took the microphone first. He spoke not as a legend, but as a teacher and grandfather figure. "When I started this game, I thought success was about trophies. Then I realized it's about time, how you spend it, and who you spend it with." He paused, looking at Tiger and Charlie. "I gave a warning months ago. Not because I feared for Charlie, but because I saw what happens when the world expects too much, too soon. The spotlight can burn bright, but it can also burn through." The crowd grew silent. Even the cameras seemed to stop humming. "Charlie," he continued, "if I can give you one piece of advice, it's this. Play golf to discover yourself, not to prove yourself. The game doesn't need another Tiger Woods, it needs the first Charlie Woods." The audience rose to their feet in applause. Tiger, visibly emotional, placed a hand on his son's shoulder. Charlie's response. When Charlie was asked to say a few words, he hesitated at first. Then he stepped forward and said softly, "Thank you, Mr. Nicholas. I don't know where this game will take me, but I do know one thing. I want to enjoy it the same way you and my dad do." It wasn't rehearsed. It wasn't dramatic. It was real. The humility in his words melted every tension that had surrounded him for years. For the first time, people saw Charlie not as a prodigy under pressure, but as a young man learning to live through golf. The moment that defined the future, as the event ended, Tiger and Nicholas shared one last handshake. Nicholas leaned in and whispered something only a few nearby microphones caught. "You've done it right? Tiger, you've broken the cycle." Tiger nodded, replying quietly, "Thanks to your warning." Jack, that brief exchange became the headline the next morning. Jack Nicklaus's final warning turns into Tiger's greatest lesson. Epilogue, the message beyond golf weeks. Later, a clip from the event went viral. It wasn't a golf swing. It wasn't a trophy moment. It was Nicklaus saying one simple line during his closing words, "Pressure is temporary. Character lasts forever." The video spread across social media, inspiring not just golfers, but athletes, parents, and coaches worldwide. The warning that once felt like a controversy had become a universal truth. And as the final credits rolled on the broadcast, the camera panned across Pebble Beach. Tiger, Jack, and Charlie walking side by side into the golden sunset. 3 generations, one game, and a lesson that would echo through time.